Hey, what's up, my bold and beautiful peeps? I hope everybody's doing well. I was watching Bold and Beautiful about 4 hours ago, and I was sitting there thinking, why the hell do I watch this show? Why, why do I torture myself? And I'm like, eh, do I really need something to keep me busy in between the Young and the Restless and Germ Hospital? Oh my gosh, this show is just driving me absolutely crazy. I don't need anything else to drive me crazy. I have enough in my life to drive me crazy. But I still find a way to torture myself with this damn soap. Oh my gosh. Wherever to begin? The last 2 weeks have been about the same two storylines about Eric working for Logan and Electra's problem with her so-called friend, Dylan, and her crazy ass aunt. Let's talk about that. I am beyond tired of Ivy Forster. What is her purpose on the show except for to just piss off everybody and be a nosy person? Like she has like zero life. Like zero. The only thing she's got going for her is that she works for Forster. She is just, I can't believe that lecturer is even listening to her. First of all, nobody is um Electra and Will both are not mad that she's just walking around outside of the beach house spying on Will and Dylan. That's just hella creepy in itself. And Electra doesn't find anything wrong with that, and she just automatically believes Ivy because she's her aunt. Um, that's it's like ugh. Not only that, but Electra was talking to RJ today, talking about Dylan as her friend. That if Dylan is your friend, then first it just popped in my head today. If she's showing your friend, then why don't you ask Dylan to stay with you? Because she stays at Eric's house, right? And I'm sure Eric's got like 500 rooms in that mansion. Dylan could have taken any one of them. She didn't have to stay with Will. That's why it's just like they're just like making up drama for this boring ass couple, I guess, to try to keep it interesting. But no, but yeah, that just popped in my head today. Why didn't Electra ask Dylan to come stay with her? Not only that, but if she's truly your friend, then you would help her. You wouldn't tell her to go live back in her car just to stay away from your boyfriend. Not only that, but it just shows that you don't really trust Will either. You just assume that he'll be interested in Dylan just because she's there. And just get mad at her for they never let them explain, why Dylan did the dance. Not only that, but I forgot why she did the dance. I know they were talking about it and she offered to show him. But that not only that, but talking about she was parading around in her swimsuit. The chick went to go swimming. You wear a swimsuit when you go swimming, do you not? I mean, some people don't, but it's not out of the not. It's normal to walk out and be in your swimsuit. She comes back. She went swimming. She came back and she took a shower outside. That's what you freaking do at a beach house. I guess I don't know. I've never been to a beach house. I thought it'd be cool to, rent one for like a weekend in like the Outer Banks or something. That's not that far from me. But anyways, back to it. I've never been to California. I've never been to the West Coast. But my phone just keeps going off. So you know what? It's going on silent. Be quiet. I'm ranting here. Anyways, it was like this big old thing. No, it's just like they're so selfish. Like so like selfish. You rather Dylan just like sleep in her car than be around the boyfriend. Why don't you um besides, living with Eric, I'm like, hey, why don't you just give her some money so she can get a room or something? You're filthy rich for no reason. Actually help her. I'm sure somewhere at Force of Creations there's a bed. As much as people bang at that place, or she could just sleep in the couch in one of the rooms. Give her something instead of being, you don't want her around Will. You want Will to kick her out. Why don't you actually help your friend out? That's just so selfish and rude. Just to want her to sleep out, get out of your boyfriend's house just because you're insecure for absolutely no freaking reason. And Aunt Ivy, it's just there to be an instigator. She has no life, so she has to be there to just like, just mess up your niece's life. I wouldn't do that to my nieces. First of all, I might not have much of a life, but I wouldn't be spying outside somebody's house or whatever. Not only that, but Will, you should have some security after dealing with Luna. The both of them dealing with Luna, they should have some security at that beach house. But whatever. Also, a better backdrop than what they got because those some sad ass clouds clouds they got there. I see more sun in our snow clouds that we had on Sunday. Anyways, so yeah, and now Electra, she's like, I'll write him a letter. Like, who the fuck writes letters these days? She wrote him a letter, left it on a desk that I don't even know whose desk is supposed to be. She's sitting at it like it's her desk, but I don't know. She left it there, and Ivy picked it up and slid it into her purse. Luckily, Daphne was there to see that, but of course, it's gonna be a while before that comes out. But but I think that since Will kind of interrupted her and Carter and was talking and stuff, I think eventually Will probably go back and talk to Carter, and then Daphne hears about it, and then maybe put two and two together when it all comes out and exposed. Because I'm sure Electra will bring up, "Hey, I wrote you a letter, and you left the bracelet. Well, he left the bracelet on another table because he broke it. He was just touching it, and then it broke." And he just left it there. I guess he was going to try to find a way to fix it or something. But then, Ivy picked it up and then put it where the letter was supposed to be. And then she's all smiles when Electra's crying to RJ about everything. And I'm like, I know they're not blood related, but they're still cousins. You know, it was like we're dating somebody that has the same last name as you, unless you're married. But it's like still, and this RJ, he's a good looking guy, but that hair, I was just looking at it today. It's just like, ew, that's oh no. Yeah, you should get a haircut. It just looks like kind of little standing up. I don't know. But I don't know. Does Ivy secretly want Will, or I don't get what her purpose is with all this. But the good thing is, I did see on Instagram the other day that the actress is pregnant. So hopefully that means Ivy's gonna go bye bye soon, or at least we get a decent break from her. But I vote get the fuck rid of her. But anyways, these four stars are so damn annoying. Can we see some other people? Yeah, let's look. Where's Sheila? Sheila, Lee, come back to us. I will even take Liam at this point over Ivy. If you followed me for a while, you know I cannot stand Liam. But Liam has not been getting on my nerves, I guess. But he did find out that Eric is um Katie's secret designer for Logan, and he did tell Hope, and she wasn't mad at him for keeping it a secret, which is good because I don't need them fighting. When we already had Ridge and Brooke show up at Eric's, and he has all these drawings all over the place, and he's stressing out about it, and Ridge is like, "Oh, these look good. Let's come into the office, and it's like let's work on the couture line together." And I'm like, and then of course Katie and Bill show up, and then it gets exposed that he's the secret Logan designer, and he has some kind of a episode or whatever, and they called EMTs because everybody's yelling at each other or whatever. And I was just thinking today because Rich was well, I'm jumping ahead. Anyways, and they're just saying, how Eric is and how he's feeling, blah blah. And you just like do this and causing them stress or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck, Eric? One, and it's like, you know, just like today, it was just, ugh, it's driving me crazy. So, yeah, I'll just skip all of that part because, they talked around in circles for this last week about this. But, anyways, what really bugged me today was that Brooke still telling Katie, you took my name. Bitch, it's her name too. And if you really, really loved the name so much, you would have kept up with the copyright or whatever on it. But anyways, just talk her Brooke and Rich talking about, making, you know, Eric oh lordy, I can't think right now. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I had to well, this is a good thing I did pause it because I just like let out a really annoying sneeze. Anyways, so Rich and so Katie was just basically saying like you got rid of him or whatever. And it's like, they didn't make him feel unwanted or anything like that. And we're going to do better and let him come into the office. And it's like, why didn't you come to the office? And blah, blah, blah. I'm just sitting here like, you guys forced him to retire from his own company. I, how do you, I, if somebody forces you into retirement, don't you think that you would consider that as a reason that they don't want you around? I make this make sense. I don't understand. It's like, you force him to retire, but you see that he's working for Katie and Bill, and then now you're like, oh, let's get him back into Forster. You know, if you wanted him to stay at Forster, you shouldn't have forced him to retire. It's so stupid. But basically, I think this is that Ridge and Brooke too. They don't want Katie to succeed, and now that you see that Eric is helping, now they want Eric to come back because they don't want him to work with Katie and Bill. That's basically what it is. They don't really want him around, or they just want to use him for this and then get rid of him. But honestly, Ridge was telling Katie and Bill that Eric won't be working for them anymore. But I remember Ridge and Eric talked yesterday, but I don't recall Eric saying that he's not gonna work for them anymore. Unless I missed something, because I definitely tuned out yesterday and today also. But I did remember Bill telling Katie that these are their designs and they're going with it. So I could see some issues. I was interested in the storyline at first, but now it's just like, besides talking in circles like Bold always does, it's just so, do you not hear yourselves? It's just drives me, freaking crazy. Anybody else annoyed by this? Oh, we're gonna do better to making him feel wanted and stuff. Like Eric said, this is the company he built. He lets you come into his company. And how do you repay him? You kick him out of his own company, which I don't think Eric should be able to do, and Rich should be able to do anyways. But I wonder what Steffi has to say about it. Steffi still don't know about it. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more bold and beautiful rants. And if you watch the other shows, I talk about them too. Anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Bye.